Today we're going to look at probably the most distinctive technique in flamenco, which is the rasgueado. And the way I think of it is basically anytime you use the back of a nail of one of the fingers, not of your thumb, but anytime you use the back of your nail, I consider it a rasgueado because basically we're going to use the same technique, whether it's just one finger, two, three, or all four. The biggest mistake that most people make when they're playing rasgueado is to just sort of let all their fingers go like this in some sort of blur, right? What we really are aiming for are discrete strokes of the fingers. So you should really know what rhythm you're trying to play when you're doing a rasgueado. This is one of the really important things. If you're going to play 16th notes, you want da 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 da. You want to really hear even 16th notes. Same thing with any other subdivision. The thing that we do to make the rasgueados continuous is to go down and always have an upstroke with the index at the end. If I'm using three fingers, I'm going to get 16th notes. Down, 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 up. Right? Down, 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 up. So three fingers actually gives me four strokes because the index is down, up. If I want triplets, I'm going to use two fingers. Down, down, up, down, down, up. And if I want eighth notes, I might just use down, up. Using all four fingers, which kind of fell out of favor for a while. I feel like it's coming back a little. But you definitely want to learn this one also, is going to give you a quintuplet, which not a lot of people hear very naturally, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? And what you'll see that all these have in common is that I'm really controlling the strokes themselves. And the way I do that is by shooting out the individual fingers. This is probably the most important thing about a rasgueado, is that you're not flicking out your finger from its own strength, but you're literally cocking the finger and then shooting it out from the palm. Now, everyone's hand is a little different. So some people are going to be much more in the palm. Some people are all on the thumb. My personal hand, when I do a rasgueado, is the index is really on the thumb, but these two fingers are in the palm. And the pinky as well, obviously. And I shoot them out one at a time, right, individually. So we're going to start with 16th notes, which means three fingers, down with the ring, down with the middle, down with the index, up with the index, right? Down, 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 up. And we're going to look at everything that goes into doing a nice, even, strong rasgueado. If you think about a fly landing on your knee and you flick it away, you don't do this with your finger. You sort of cock the finger at the thumb and then you release. But you also don't put a lot of effort into it. You're not going, Urgh. You just sort of very naturally, we all do this. If we need to get rid of a fly, we just flick. That's as much effort as goes into any stroke of a rasgueado. What I recommend you do, you just relax your right hand. You're left-handed if you're playing left-handed, obviously. And you make the loosest fist imaginable. So you make the kind of fist where if you punched anything or anyone, you would do more damage to your hand than to whatever you're punching, right? Super relaxed, but all your fingers catch, right? So from here, before you even get to the guitar, I want you to just play with shooting out each finger. First the ring finger, and do not release the middle finger until the ring finger has gone out. So 1, 2, 3, and then we come back and make our fist again, and as we do, the index is going to play the strings, right? So this is the first thing I want you to practice away from the guitar. Make this really loose fist, shoot out, ring, middle, index, come back. Ring, middle, index, reload. Ring, middle, index, return. However you want to think about it, right? As we prepare to play on the guitar, you're going to basically perch your thumb on the 6th string. And I'm going to tell you to bend this last joint of the thumb. There's a couple reasons for this, and they're all really important. The most obvious one is that a lot of voicings that we're going to play have their root on the 5th string. And it's really hard with a straight thumb to play the 5th string because you just don't really reach. Right? But if I do this, it's kind of no problem, right? I can hit that 5th string because I'm up above a little bit, right? There are guys who can do this with a straight thumb, but the vast majority of us will bend our thumb because it's just easier. The other thing is I actually find it's a lot easier to come back into this nice loose fist when your thumb is bent. I will say it takes a lot of getting used to. And it just sounds better. You're at a nicer angle. So the three things are you can hit the fifth string, easier to grab the fist, and it sounds better. So I really recommend you get used to bending this. I had already been playing for a couple years when I was told to be bending this, and I remember it was really annoying. I did not enjoy getting used to this, but I am absolutely glad I did because it really changed my rasgueados forever. It just made them easier, and easy is what we want. We've got our thumb here, last joint is bent. We make this really loose fist, and then before we do anything, check in that you're relaxed in here. The pattern we're going to do for now is actually a little bit simpler than the pattern that we do in Soleá because I just want to keep it simple so that we can get used to practicing the rasgueado. What we're going to do is, on F, we're going to go down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up, right? 2/16ths, 2 beats of 16th notes, and then 1 of 8th notes. Same exact thing on C major. Down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up. Repeat the F major part. Bum, 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 bum. And then because we might as well learn how to do this properly in Soleá, we're going to resolve on 10, 11, and 12, and. Right, so on the E major chord, we've got thumb, index, thumb skips the 5th string, goes to the 4th. Thumb, 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 index. I can do that again and tell you which finger I'm using, okay? So starting from the beginning, we've got ring, middle, index, index, ring, middle, index, 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 right? A, M, I, A, M, I, if that's easier to think about. Ring, middle, index, index, ring, middle, down, up, down, up. So I'm changing the words I'm using to describe it so that whichever resonates with you, you can sort of think about it that way. So you could think about it just down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up. Or you could think about specifically which fingers are doing what. To then vary, again, this is in the Soleá thing, I'm just going to add my pinky to the G, 3rd fret of the 1st string here. And I'm going to do the whole thing again. Down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up, 10. Right, so the whole thing is just 2 compasses of Soleá. We got. This is a great way to practice your 3-finger or 16th note rasgueados. So what we're going to do is we're going to play triplets instead of 16th notes on the same pattern. So it's going to feel a little slower. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right? So we're just doing down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And this is a little tricky because we're going back and forth between triplets and 8th notes, which you have to get a little bit used to. So you might want to just practice the time element of this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, ba, 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 bum, until they feel natural. And we can do the same pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we can put the G on top. The other thing we can do is we can double up on our triplets and actually make sextuplets. So for this, we might actually want to slow down our pulse. And rather doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, think about your 8th note, 1 and 2 and 3, and subdivide each 8th note into triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. there's an interesting rasgueado that we use in tangos a lot, which can be confusing, and I'm going to go over that here. Although the mechanics are exactly the same as what we've been doing, it's a little tricky. It just feels different. So the rasgueado in question is this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This part, that's the tricky part. So the left hand is just B flat, any B flat voicing. I happen to be using this one with B flat, F, open G, D, and E, and then A major, and we add the B flat for flavor, right? But the rasgueado is 1 and a 2 and a 3 and 4 and it's those first couple beats, right? 1 and a 2 and a 3. And I think what's tricky about it for most people is that because we start with a golpe and then we come up with the index, you're a little unmoored. But really all we're doing is 1, up with the index, down with the middle, down with the index. That downstroke with the index is the downbeat of beat 2. So it's 1 and a 2 and a 3 and 4 and. So most of the rest of the compás is just down, up, eighth notes. So we have golpe, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And if you know how to subdivide 16th notes with the syllables, it's 1E and a 2E and a 3, right? So it's eighth note and 2 16th notes. Da, 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 da. You got 1 and a 2 and a 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, 8. So beat 7 is 7 and, right, evenly divided 16th notes, and then back to our eighth notes. So with the chords, we have 1, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, rasqueado, down, up. So actually saying rasqueado is sort of another way of hearing the subdivision, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Don't rush your practice of rasgueado. And what I would recommend is that the order of priority you want to put on the elements that we've discussed should be first, never do it with tension. So even if everything else is bad, make sure you're not tense. From here all the way down through to the fingers, you want to be relaxed, right? The second thing I would say is really make sure that you are individually shooting out each finger. And that you really understand the order in which the fingers go down and then back up. Because one of the most basic mistakes people make is to literally confuse the order in which the fingers go. In our case, we're always starting from the outermost finger, working our way to the index, which goes down and then up, right? So the 3 finger is ring, middle, index, index. The 4 finger is pinky, ring, middle, index, index. The 2 finger is middle, index, index. And the 8th note is obviously just all index. So you're always working your way towards the index, down, up. Finally, once you've got no tension and the mechanics are working well, go for evenness, right? So really hear the subdivision, 1E and a 2E and a 3 and ba 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 bum bum. You want to be able to kind of sing this and feel that subdivision so that you know if you're doing it right or not, because you have to be able to check in on yourself. Only after all of that do I recommend even thinking about speed. If you try to speed it up before you've got those 3 elements really under your belt, you're going to be speeding up a rasgueado that doesn't work yet, and so you're just going to run into trouble. And this applies to any technique you learn. If you don't learn it well at a really slow tempo, your odds just really decrease as you go faster. But if you really own it and learn it well and relaxed at the slow tempo, then once you start speeding it up, you have a really good shot of just being able to play it faster and faster. So remember about rasgueado, they're not that hard to do, you're just not used to doing them yet. So the more time you give yourself to just get used to making these motions, which I like to do, and I like my students to do away from the guitar. Don't rush this technique, but sort of be easy on yourself and give yourself some time and just make sure you're checking in on the elements we talked about, and you'll be able to get this in, I don't want to say no time, but you'll be able to get this pretty quickly if you practice it right.